This time last year, Kentucky Proud Park was like the main topic of conversation, so I'm going to start with that again. Very thankful for the amazing ballpark and love hearing all the comments from our fans and our alumni. That part's been good. Also want to mention that we're continuing to learn a new ballpark. It's obviously totally different than the Cliff. I wish I could sit here and tell you we've got it masters, and we don't by any stretch of the imagination. But a couple things that are definitely different about the ballpark is that I've learned over the last year is that run prevention is absolutely crucial. To when we were at the Cliff, a lot of you understand and would know that run production was key. But in this ballpark, run prevention is obviously something really big. And with that said, we have 36 home games this year, the most ever. So we're excited about that. I don't know how excited some of you are for the February 19th game, but we are excited about that. A couple new staff additions. Dan Rozelle is now our pitching coach, and Will Coggins our recruiting coordinator. Really enjoyed having those guys. Dan Rozelle, his track record and resume is as impressive as anyone's. Long, tedious process this summer in that hiring process. A couple stats about him. His staffs have been in the top 50 in ERA. 7 of the last, 9 years? 7 of the last 9 years. He's coached 11 guys that have made it to the big leagues, including Chris Hill. So he has challenged our pitchers to do 3 things, and he's challenged them to do a lot more than 3 things, but his 3 points of emphasis have been, number 1, you got to throw strikes. Number 2, you have to control the running game, and the third one is work extremely fast. So those are 3 areas that he's challenged them on. Will Coggin, recruiting coordinator, former player of mine, and actually coached with him at Mississippi State. Really neat because, we talk about family all the time, and Coach Williams, those of you who know him, he coached me as a player, and I now have coached Coach Coggin. So it's kind of a neat little deal we have going on, but Coach Coggin is a proven winner. He is awesome teaching the swing. He's coached 2 different guys in the SEC that have won SEC batting titles, so I'm thankful for him and his experience there. But then also as a player, this guy's been in the College World Series as a player. He's an SEC champion coach. He too, as young as he is, he's coached 11 guys that have made it to the major leagues already. So proven winner and just tireless worker. He is just constantly working. So and then one other staff, Troy Squires is back with us. Those of you know him, former player here, he ended up getting drafted, went on to play professional baseball. He has finished professional baseball and finishing his master's degree. So Troy was our first ever senior class award winner. So, all right, as far as the team goes, different feeling this year compared to last year. I made a comment that I felt like we were starting over last year, just so many new faces, and knew it would be hard, but sometimes until you go through it, you don't know how hard it would be. And it was an extremely difficult season, as a lot of you know, but we were close last year, but just for whatever reasons, we had 7 games in our league where we lost by 1 or 2 runs, and we just could not close the door. But last season, for example, we had 2 guys with 85 at-bats or more. That's all we had. And this year, we actually have 8 guys with 90 at-bats or more. So offensively, we'll have a ton more experience. We have now experience at catcher, first, second, short, and in the outfield, which we didn't have. And you know what? That's a big deal. And this league is not forgiving, as you guys know. And when you don't have experience, it's really hard. And it was frustrating. I have this example I want to use with Reeves, and my wife Kristen's an amazing mom, and Reeves is 5 years old now, and early in the year he had tie shoes. He calls them tie shoes. The Velcro's gone, so he now has tie shoes, and he wanted to wear them to school, and Kristen said, you can only wear these to school if you know how to tie them yourself, because the teacher can't tie them. You got to be able to do this yourself. So I remember one morning he felt like he had it, and he put his shoes on and he's tying them, and it's not going good. And as a father, it was really hard to watch him just fail, and I couldn't do it. I couldn't get in there, and I couldn't tie his shoes for him. And I just watched him, and I watched the frustration set in, and you know what? It was time to go, and he could not wear his shoes to school that day. In a lot of ways, that's how I felt about our team last year as a coach. Man, my heart hurt. We tried, and we moved pieces, and we kept giving guys opportunities, and it just didn't happen. And now that they have the experience, that experience should speed up their learning curve, and some things should happen for a lot of those guys. And I'm thankful and excited that they're here, and I'm getting a chance to watch it and be alongside with them. So speed, we're going to have some team speed. This may be the fastest team I've ever coached. So stolen bases is going to be key. And the speed, you've heard the saying, speed doesn't go in slumps. So that should be good, and it should really help us on the defensive side as well. Pitching, as far as pitching goes, one mentality that I want to compliment Coach Rozelle on is he has basically challenged our pitchers to be the tip of the spear, and that it starts with them on the mound. And he has just done a phenomenal job, and that's a direct reflection of him and the mentality that he has put into our pitching staff. So thankful for that. Let's talk about some of the guys. Zach Thompson's gone, unfortunately. Wish we had him back. He's been back training. It's been good to spend time with him and watch his growth. But we have 0 seniors on our pitching staff. We have 6 seniors on our team. They're all positional players. So the only senior, I'm talking about athletically now, not academically. We don't have any seniors, but Carson Coleman's the one guy that has the most experience. And he ended up getting drafted this past June, decided to come back. He's going to graduate in May. He will be a key piece out of our bullpen, as he's been basically his entire career. Jimmy Ramsey's back. His body has changed dramatically. Want to compliment Coach D and our staff and our nutrition staff on helping him and his commitment to his body. It's better. He's more confident as a result. He does have a swing and miss slider, but his changeup, Coach Rozelle's really helped him with his changeup. So Mason Hazelwood's back. Had a great summer in the Cape Cod League. He is a guy we're going to count on. He's been great this fall and this spring. Daniel Harper led our team in appearances. He's kind of done a little bit of both since he's been here. He's started out of our bullpen. He's been dramatically better, and his fastball velocity is increasing, and it's doing good. And then a couple sophomores, Dylan Marsh, Alex Deegan, Braxton Cotton Game, Hunter Riggsby, and Cole Daniels are all back. And they got a ton of experience last year, should pay dividends this year. And 2 freshmen that have really stood out on the pitching side, Cole Stupp and Zach Lee, have been really, really impressive. Ben Jordan continues to stay with basketball. Figured I'd save the question. He's going to stay with them until the season finishes, and he's going to continue to take elbows from Nick Richards and Bloody Noses and continue to help our program. Ben, it's been really neat. He's throwing bullpens now with us once a week, and just to see his body, how changed he is, and then to be around a Hall of Fame coach and coaching staff, it's made Ben better. And so we look forward to getting him back when basketball finishes. I'll spend some time on some of these positional players. TJ Collette is back, and he's healthy. Had another surgery this fall, but his body looks great. He's in great shape. He has elite power, as all of you know. He actually led the Cape Cod League this summer in home runs. So he is just an unreal teammate and human being. And then Jaron Shelby, I'm going to talk about 3 seniors. Jaron Shelby, Braden Daniels, and Elliott Curtis. We need those guys to be like Luke Heyer and Luke Becker and Ryan Shin, to where their senior years, they put together their best years. And we're counting on those guys to do that. Austin Schultz is back. Schultz suffered an injury towards the end of our last season, played very few games this summer, and Austin didn't get an opportunity to play this fall, but he's back, so he, in a lot of ways, is playing catch-up. But he's extremely talented, and he'll be a big piece. We had 3 guys playing the Cape Cod League this summer and win the Cape Cod League championship, which is a big deal. You want your players to experience championships. Not only where they play, but also in the summer. So Cam Hill did that. He's just an amazing baseball player. Spent more time in left this year. Left field, we have learned, is extremely difficult to play at Kentucky Crown Park. So look for Cam to play a lot of left field. And then Colton Kessler and Tanner Holland will be our 2 catchers that will man behind the plate. Colton Kessler is one of the 3 guys that also won the Cape Cod League championship. And then 2 newcomers to watch. Raja New, junior college transfer, who also won the Cape Cod League championship, and freshman John Rhodes. Those 2 guys have been very, very impressive. Last 2 things, where I'll talk about our schedule. Extremely challenging. Again, we open up at TCU next Friday. They've been in Omaha a bunch of times, and I think it's going to feel a lot like in 17 when we opened up at North Carolina. I just wanted our team to be battle-tested right away. And speaking of battle-tested, we'll be battle-tested again. 15 of our first 18 SEC games are against teams ranked in the top 12. 15 of our first 18 SEC games. And then we get the challenge of opening it up at Vandy, the national champion. So looking forward to that challenge come SEC play.